Let me know if I've got this right in the comments. You're a dude in your 20s or 30s, you've been playing old school RuneScape for a long time, and you've never quite managed to break out into the endgame. You don't have 10 hours a day like the sweats on Twitch, you've got a job, maybe you've even got a partner and kids. I'm sure all of that endgame content feels miles away. The dudes you see pioneering crazy strategies and endgame content treat RuneScape like it's their 9 to 5, and to be fair, for some of them it is. But we can't all do that. How do we get into raiding and bossing to a high standard without ruining our lives in the process? Here's the first reason people don't make it to the end game. It takes a lot of grinding to get PVM ready in old school RuneScape, and when your account finally has the stats, quests and gear, you need to tackle your first money making boss grind, like Vorkath for example. Players simply don't feel like they're ready for it mechanically. Sure, there are loads of new bosses like Skurius and Amascut to get you trained up appropriately, but what incentive do players actually have to go there really? Realistically, you're probably going to end up spending more money on supplies than you ever make back. The second reason really sucks. Plenty of people want to get involved in group content, but nobody is willing to take the risk to take them. The game has plenty of awesome people playing it, I know, I've raided with them. But for every absolute legend, there's some sweaty goblin who pulled the ladder up from under them the second they got their first tob clear. It's too easy to come across these knobheads and be put off from playing with others altogether. This third reason might hit a little bit too close to home. Players give themselves excuses. I don't have the time. I'm just not built different like the guys at the top. I'll do it once I get that next piece of gear. Let me max my combat stats first. Does any of that sound familiar? I bet it feels like a personal attack to half of you, but trust me, I get it, we've all been there. You can get over all of these blockers. You can try and do it alone, but trust me, getting involved with the community is the single biggest way to change this mindset and get over these fears. But not just any community, finding one aligned with your playstyle and experience level is gonna change the game. Everyone is always super locked in on gear, skills and sweaty tech. Nobody really talks about this, but since I started running my clan, it's been so obvious to me that this is the #1 tool for seeing progression. I've seen people go from absolute noobs to being 10 times better at the game than me, just from getting involved with the community, putting themselves out there and being willing to try new things. Let's talk about some specific ways that playing together seriously changes the game. Those boring grinds that kill momentum before you even reach the end game, they're still grinds, but you're hanging out in voice chat with the boys whilst you do them. You're sharing your drops and achievements in clan chat. Every drop or piece of loot means so much more when you have people to share it with. You can break up chaining together hundreds of Slayer tasks by rolling up to a clan event. The grinds don't get any shorter, arguably they're going to be longer, but it stops feeling lonely and gives you more external reasons to keep progressing. The gatekeeping problem should hopefully be pretty self-explanatory. Learner raid servers like We Do Raids are a great resource, but you are always at the mercy of the randoms that you pick up. The experience can be humbling at best and depressing at worst. Joining a community that runs their own regular learner events will massively help you, but to be honest, you don't need a formal learner raid, and you shouldn't just sit around forever and wait for someone to offer to take you. If you find people at the same stage as you and you're willing to put in the effort and try, you can get a KC at any raid in the game. Just send it. When nobody's getting carried, no one's embarrassed to make a mistake. And when you get that first kill together, it means so much more. It's actually yours, you earned it. That feeling's not nearly as strong when you get spoon-fed a clear by someone who could solo it in their sleep. And what about those excuses, the ones I called you out on earlier? They're hard to maintain when you're surrounded by people who have had the same ones and pushed through anyway. A little bit of pressure can go a long way. I used to be big into powerlifting and strength training. What's the best way to get bigger and stronger? Training with people who are bigger and stronger than you. Also, drugs. But mostly, putting yourself in a situation where you have contact with people who have already achieved your goals is the best way to make things feel possible and get access to the tips and advice you need. They can always give you the reality check and let you know that you're ready. Or if you're not. It's not only being able to relate to the people who are the next step up from you that's helpful. When you're watching first timers tackle content that you can already do and helping them on their journey, it really makes you realize how far you've come. One of my favourite sayings is, the best way to learn is to teach. And, not gonna lie, teaching people is the only reason I can do any PVM in this game. I was not even remotely close to being good at this game when I started making videos. Just take a scroll back on my channel. And to the GMs, streamers, and other generally sweaty players, I'm still a total friggin' noob. Being part of someone else's journey and having others be a part of yours is more motivating than any progression guide I could ever make. All it takes sometimes is a little thumbs up or a message on Discord to keep you accountable and motivated. I've got dozens of examples, but here are some no bullshit genuine success stories. Mouse found my channel through my entry mode TOB guide. He's now sending 500 TOAs with ease, blasting through hard mode TOB like it's chill, and to be honest, he taught me pretty much everything I know about normal TOB, which, to be fair, isn't much, but that's not the point. White Belt joined the Discord with nothing but a fire cape. This dude got both his quiver and infernal cape before me. I don't want to take credit for these dudes' crazy achievements. They're absolute gamers in their own right. They're both way better than me. But honestly, they'd both tell you that the reason they got so good was having access to a supportive community, players that were better than them to guide them, and surrounding themselves with people that made content seem approachable rather than gatekept. It obviously all takes hard work and dedication to the grind, but the community just makes that all so much easier. So, if community is the answer, and it really is that simple, why isn't everyone doing this already? Well, let me tell you, it's because finding the right one is a fucking nightmare. You generally have one of two issues. You join a social clan with no requirements. You think this will be a great way to meet people and start doing group content. But apart from a few core members that occasionally hang out in voice chat, everyone is just as intimidated by group content as you are, and you're all drinking the same Kool-Aid, talking like doing the tougher content is completely impossible. Some clans have the opposite problem. They're so established and everyone is so good at the game that walking in as a learner feels like you're Ronald McDonald showing up for his first day at work for SEAL Team 6. You're underqualified and embarrassed. Let's not sugarcoat it. Sometimes this is your fault. You need to put yourself out there, admit what you don't know. It's okay to be bad. And being willing to be wrong and learn from your mistakes is crucial. But honestly, a lot of the time, this is the kind of community that attracts the elitist douchebags that only care about flexing, like we talked about earlier. The genuine truth is most people give up at this stage. They try one or two clans, have a bad experience, and go back to playing solo. And that's exactly why I want to tell you about what we've built. My Discord server and in-game clan, the Bootcamp, has 2,000 members and rising. Every single day, there are people organising raids, bossing trips, and learner events. There's a Get Help channel where you can ask any question, and I mean any question, without getting made to feel stupid for asking it. Because everyone in there started exactly where you are right now. There's even a one-to-one coaching service where you can ask for help with specific content, and our designated teachers will show you the ropes. It's not a free carry service. No one's going to drag you through content you haven't earned. But if you show that you're willing to do a bit of research, that you're generally ready to try, and you're prepared to die a few times on the way, you will find your people there. I've watched it happen over and over again. The whole point of my channel is to make PVM accessible to the average player. I don't care about the millions of sweaty strategies that the pros say are essential. I care about getting online after a day at work and smashing some content, developing my skills and having a good time. I've built the server with that in mind. But it's way bigger than just me now. It's not just a clan, it's a group of people who came together wanting to break down the barriers that sometimes make reaching the end game unapproachable. And honestly, just have some fun whilst helping each other to get better at the game. If you watch this video and the problems I talked about hit a little bit too close to home, I strongly recommend you come and get involved. The link's in the description. Come introduce yourself. We're currently preparing for our biggest community event yet, a competition with a prize pool of over 1 billion GP, the Bootcamp Summer Games. We'll be sharing loads of content about it on our clan YouTube channel, so check that out. There's a link to the trailer in the description. It's going to be a great time. I hope to see you there. As always, a huge shout out to my YouTube channel members and Twitch subscribers. I massively appreciate the support. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you next time.